The vantage point here, to give people some frame of reference, we're looking at the kind of north or northeastern edge of the Palisades Fire, Mandeville Canyon, an area of concern right now. And then I think we're viewing from around the Encino area, or maybe even north of there. So it's like viewing this from the north looking southward, and you see you're going to see multiple helicopters. We know there's 10 of them going to work right now that will keep going back and forth, dropping water on these flames. And it looks, and I believe we got confirmation that they're picking up the water from the Encino Reservoir. And so it's just kind of interesting to watch them do this and watch them go to work. And there we go. Just another live drop. We're going to see a lot more of these, I think, as we go through the night here, obviously. It is a significant flare-up, as Captain Scott said. He labeled it a significant flare-up, and it certainly looks that way.
It certainly looks that way. Yeah, it felt a few hours ago like we were kind of not out of the woods, but in a sort of sense of calm. There wasn't that bad of winds. It felt like a lot of this stuff had slowed down, and it was going to be a pretty easy night. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, it looks like this thing is taken off again, and it's heading into areas that have not been threatened so far. So that is the scary part. That's why we're still on the air with you. We want to get through this dangerous situation together and keep an eye on what we're looking at here. And so some of the neighborhoods here, not only Mandeville Canyon, which has a lot of expensive homes along a hiking trail. We're not too far from the Mountain Gate community. And we want to join on the phone right now by Tobin Yankee, who was just in the area helping his friend evacuate. Tobin, talk to us about your experience tonight.
Yeah, sure. First, my heart goes out to everybody being affected by this fire. It's tragic and devastating. There's a lot of people helping a friend evacuate her home on Canyonback. She faces westward from Canyonback above the Mountain Gate Golf Course. I arrived there about 5 o'clock and could see the ominous clouds kind of west of the West Ridge Trail, Sullivan Canyon. And by the time we left her house at about 6:45 p.m., the fire was over the West Ridge Trail road and coming down into Mandeville Canyon pretty quickly. So, and right towards kind of the north end of Canyonback Road and towards, kind of a straight line right towards the Mountain Gate Golf Course area. So, and moving really fast. We were astonished. It was mesmerizing in some ways, but we packed up as much as we could and just got out of there. But there were a lot of looky-loos, and saw one police car coming up the road as I was leaving, and that was about it. Again, that was about 6:45 p.m., so who knows how far that fire has gotten since then.
Did you see any homes burning when you were leaving?
I couldn't see any homes burning. I know Mandeville Canyon, towards the top of Mandeville, there are a few very nice homes and up there, but you just can't see down into the canyon that far. But the fire was quickly, it was moving at such a rapid pace. It was awestruck at how fast it was moving.
It was sort of one of those things like, whoa, here we go.
Yeah, I talked to my friend, and there were people on the street like, let's get out of here and hope for the best. But it certainly didn't look good. It was kind of bearing down on that street and towards those neighborhoods up in around the Mountain Gate Golf Course at the time. So I don't know what the fire department's doing, but it's there for sure, and it's intense. So and fast.
Had you kind of breathed a sigh of relief tonight? Like I think I sort of kind of did. Like we were kind of done with this?
I actually did. And what's interesting is I had a go bag, and I live in Brentwood on the southern edge of this, and I'm in the level, the what do they call it? The set part of the zone, the watch set, right on the edge. And I thought I was breathing a sigh, and now I got everything packed and more ready to go just in case. So this is pretty insane.
Did you see when you were leaving a bunch of neighbors that were leaving as well? Did it seem like people were taking this seriously?
Up on Canyonback, are you referring to?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the neighbors were hightailing it out of there. A couple people had U-Hauls in their driveway trying to throw as much stuff as they could into their U-Hauls before they left.
That's interesting.
The person I was helping was in tears. She had been there for you know, as many people are in their homes for, you know, decades, and a lot of history and art and just kind of like all kinds of stuff, memories that they're just saying goodbye to.
That's an interesting, well, hopefully not. We don't know of any of the homes burning, and we have seen some amazing work by these fire crews in the air over the last few days to basically have no structure loss in some of these what look like really ominous clouds. So we don't want to say that until we have any reports of that or actually see it with our own eyes of anything burning, you know, there's a real good likelihood that they'll be able to return to their homes, but there's also a possibility that they won't. And that's interesting. I haven't heard of that people, knowing that there's this threat going, have rented a U-Haul in case they have to evacuate, knowing that they could get more stuff out of their house that way.
Yeah, I found that pretty astonishing to see.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of level of preparation, I guess you want to call it that. But, you know, we're out of there safe. We got the animals out and things like that. But I will say, you know, what would be interesting is Mountain Gate, the Canyon-back neighborhood, has an HOA, and their HOA pays to have goats permanently grazing on the backside of their ridge, you know, down 50 or 100 feet or more. And so I'm interested to see how effective that is, because I think that could be a benefit to a large part of the mountainous area in you know, around Los Angeles. But
yeah, and when we look at this picture, I don't know if you're able to see our picture right now, but you get a sense from this shot of how big that plume is and how many people live nearby. Right now, we're not into that area, but once you get into it, there is just a mass of people. This is an area, you know, near the 405 freeway. You can see it from the 101 freeway as well. There's just so many homes there, which is, you know, why it's so important to try to get as much water on this from the 10 different aircrafts that are flying right now to try to prevent it from getting into those neighborhoods. Well, Tobin, we're glad that you were able to get out safely and that your friend was as well. And we wish you the best and hope that everybody is okay.
Thank you, and my thoughts and prayers to everybody affected by this fire. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thanks for calling in. We appreciate you sharing your perspective. So this thing is really moving. Hopefully that airdrop are able to stop it and prevent it from doing anything worse. But scary moments. Nobody wants to flee their home, and nobody wants to, you know, think about the possibility that they may not be coming back to their home. But that is a realistic possibility that we all have to live with. And when we think about what Adam Kruger was just talking to us about, that the winds are going to be even worse, and next week here we go again, not as bad as last week, but pretty darn bad. You know, it raises the possibility of this particular fire being moved into other neighborhoods, and it also raises the possibility that if there was another new fire or perhaps a new arson fire, that fire could spread really fast. So while many of us sort of started thinking of today as into the recovery phase of this, we are still in the fire disaster phase of this. And let's hope we don't have more homes burning, but it's certainly a possibility tonight when we look at these images.